Imagine you have a groundbreaking idea, something no one around you has ever seen. You spend months, maybe years, building it in secret. Finally, it works. You hold a piece of the future in your hands. Excited, you show it to the most powerful person you can reach, convinced it will change everything. But instead of applause, you're met with suspicion. They don't see a genius. They see someone who might be crazy. This isn't fiction. It happened to a young Nigerian named Mudashiru Ayeni. As a teenager in the 1970s, Ayeni built a robot by himself in Nigeria. His reward? Not a scholarship, but a referral to a psychiatric hospital. Sometimes the future arrives so quietly and looks so strange that the present can't recognize it. The line between visionary and madman is often just timing. How did a promising young inventor end up being questioned about his sanity? To understand, we need to look at the world he lived in, a place where a walking, talking, battery-powered machine was almost unthinkable. Ayeni's story is about more than one boy and his robot. It's about every innovator who's ever been misunderstood. It's about the courage to believe in your vision when no one else does. Society often reacts to the unknown with fear or dismissal. We can embrace the strange, or we can label it as madness. Mudashiru Ayeni's experience shows both sides of that coin. His journey is a testament to resilience and the power of a brilliant idea. Sometimes genius looks like madness until the world catches up. Let's see how Ayeni's story unfolded and what it teaches us about the cost of being ahead of your time. To understand Ayeni's challenge, let's travel to 1970s Nigeria. The country was recovering from civil war, focused on rebuilding and unity. Technology was scarce. No personal computers, no internet. The most advanced home tech was a radio or black and white TV. Robotics belonged in science fiction, not in a Lagos teenager's bedroom. The national priorities were basics: roads, electricity, water. Automation and artificial intelligence weren't even part of the conversation. In this world, a student building a robot sounded like magic or madness. The concept was so foreign, people lacked even the words to describe it. Ayeni was dreaming of the 21st century while his country was still catching up to the 20th. His vision was so far ahead it was invisible to those around him. That's why his genius wasn't celebrated. It was simply misunderstood. He was a lone voice, speaking a language almost no one else could understand. This was the world Mudashiru Ayeni tried to change. Amid post-war Nigeria, Mudashiru Ayeni stood out. A student at Federal Government College, Lagos, he was obsessed with electronics and mechanics. While others studied textbooks, Ayeni scavenged for parts, teaching himself engineering. His dream: build a robot that could serve as an office assistant. In an era before word processors, he imagined automating office tasks. For 2 years, he worked with scraps, metal, wires, discarded electronics. The result? A 4-foot-tall robot named Muda, powered by a simple battery. It wasn't pretty, but it worked. Muda could move, grab objects, and place a book on a table. Ayeni had built a prototype of the future, using only what he could find. He solved problems of balance, power, and motion alone. This was more than a clever trick. It was proof of true vision. Ayeni's robot was a glimpse of what was possible, decades ahead of its time. Ayeni's robot wasn't just impressive, it was revolutionary. In the 1970s, even the world's top labs were just beginning to explore robotics. For a Nigerian teenager to build a working robot with no access to modern parts was astonishing. Muda could move 25 yards, pick up and drop objects, and follow programmed sequences. Ayeni tackled the same challenges as engineers in the world's best universities, alone with junk parts. His invention was a bridge to a future few could imagine. In a world of typewriters and telephones, Ayeni's robot was pure science fiction come to life. What do you do after building a robot in 1970s Nigeria? Ayeni aimed high. He went straight to Dodan Barracks, hoping to show his invention to the head of state, General Yakubu Gowon. No appointment, just a teenager and his robot at the gates of power. The soldiers were baffled. A schoolboy claiming to have built a robot? It sounded impossible. In a tense political climate, anything unusual was treated with suspicion. Instead of being welcomed, Ayeni was met with disbelief. The authorities listened to his story and drew a troubling conclusion. Not genius, not innovation, but mental instability. Rather than calling scientists, they called a psychiatrist. Ayeni's bold move to seek recognition turned into a test of his sanity. The future he brought was so unexpected, it was mistaken for delusion. His journey took a sharp, surreal turn. Instead of applause, he got a psychiatric referral. Instead of recognition, Ayeni was sent to Yaba Psychiatric Hospital. His claim was so unbelievable, officials thought he must be delusional. Over several weeks, he attended 8 sessions with Dr. T.A. Asuni, a respected psychiatrist. The questions weren't about engineering, they were about reality. The irony, Ayeni was there not because of instability, but because his idea was too advanced to be believed. After thorough evaluation, Dr. Asuni declared Ayeni perfectly sane. The boy was telling the truth, but the damage was done. Humiliation replaced hope. Instead of support, Ayeni faced suspicion and bureaucracy. His dream of government backing had become a psychological ordeal. He proved his sanity, but learned a harsh lesson. Being ahead of your time can come at a personal cost. The system wasn't ready for his vision, and Ayeni paid the price for daring to dream big. You'd think being declared sane would help Ayeni. Instead, his school saw him as a troublemaker, not a prodigy. The administration worried about their reputation, not his achievement. Rather than celebrate his ingenuity, they banned him from classes. Ayeni was ostracized, punished for thinking too big. School, meant to nurture talent, became a place of rejection. Isolated and under pressure, Ayeni made a heartbreaking choice. He quit school. A mind capable of building robots was pushed out of the education system. The very institution meant to support him became his adversary. His quest for recognition cost him his education and nearly his dream. It's a stark example of how institutions can fail their brightest minds. Conformity was chosen over genius, and Ayeni was left to fend for himself. Ayeni's story could have ended in obscurity, but news of his invention reached Chief Anthony Enahoro, the Federal Commissioner for Information and Labor. Unlike others, Enahoro was intrigued, not suspicious. He invited Ayeni to demonstrate his robot. Muda performed as promised, moving, lifting, following commands. Enahoro saw brilliance, not madness. With his endorsement, Ayeni's story changed. Suddenly, he was a young Nigerian inventor, not a delusional student. Businessmen and investors took notice. The same invention that brought ridicule now attracted opportunity. One open-minded champion made all the difference. Ayeni's genius hadn't changed, only the perception had. Support and validation transformed his future. Sometimes all it takes is one believer to turn the tide. Mudashiru Ayeni's story proves the line between visionary and madman is razor thin. Often it's not the idea, it's the timing and the audience. History is full of geniuses dismissed as insane for being too far ahead. Ayeni's robot wasn't the problem. The world just wasn't ready. Innovation needs more than brilliance. It needs a receptive environment. Champions like Chief Enahoro can change everything. What's seen as madness today may be genius tomorrow. The future sometimes arrives quietly, in the hands of a teenager. Our job is to listen, even when the story sounds a little bit insane, because sometimes that's how progress begins.